how's it going? Livewire community, Diego here. Long time no see. It's been a while since I've done any how-to videos, but I'm gonna try to whip up one right now. I don't have all my gear with me right now. It's been all stored away because I'm in the process of packing and moving some stuff to a new location. So I'm gonna do this the best that I can with just a single cell phone, and hopefully it's good enough for you guys to enjoy and learn something new and maybe get yourself something new. In this episode of how to install something with Diego on your Livewire, we're gonna try to install a Corbin saddle for the Livewire. So I have a 2021 Harley Davidson or Livewire. You'll be able to put the seat on there. It can easily be obtained at Corbin's website. I'll put it on the notes and on the description of this video how to get the seat. But they have a pretty cool configurator where you can kind of select the material, the colors, and all that other stuff. So without further ado, we're gonna try to get this installed on the bike. So here we have my 2020-2021 Harley Davidson now Livewire electric motorcycle. And as you guys can tell, I have the Harley Davidson or the Livewire the low profile seat, which is nicer, a lot more stitching, more detailed than the stock one. But I'll tell you this right now, this thing is hard as a piece of wood. Last year I did a cross-country cannonball run on this thing, and towards the end of my trip I literally had to pop painkillers just to be able to stay on the saddle, even though I was wearing padded shorts, you know, bicyclist shorts. I had a gel pad on this top of this thing. It was still too hard to accommodate. I had to pop some Advils in order to kind of get on the bike early in the morning, and then when that wore off, pop up another set of Advils in the afternoon to kind of continue into as far as I could, you know, until I did some of the night riding. In addition to the other tricks that I did on the bike, like adding the forward foot rest, you know, the ankle rest that you guys can get, and a couple other tricks that I did here and there, plus, you know, the windshield right there, or the wind deflector, so I can not be as a human wind sail when I was doing this 3,000 mile trip. But with that being said, we're gonna turn over here, and down here is where we have our Corbin seat. We got a nice gray color that matches the frame. Hopefully that's the look we're gonna achieve, you know, the gray frame, gray seat, and obviously the padding that goes in the front, which is this portion right here. You get that right there, and then the seat or the saddle, which is there. Now, one thing I will note, I am gonna lose the ability to use my cowl, my carbon fiber cowl. I'm gonna lose that, so I feel kind of bummed about it, but we'll see. I mean, comfort versus looks, what do you guys think? Which one should be priority? I think comfort, right? Instead of looks. We can always figure something out down the line for that. But let's start the disassembly process. Okay, Corbin gives us a pretty detailed list with nice graphics of how this saddle should be mounted on the bike. So it gives us a list of tools required. There we are, tools required, and the parts list of what you're getting with the bike, and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps. And obviously this is the non-heated version. We're here in Southern California, so our rainy season could last probably a whole whopping 5 days down here in Southern California at any given time. And our cold riding season's around right now, and the coldest it's gonna get during the day, probably low 50s, maybe, you know, at the most. And during the night it'll get chilly, you know, 30s, 40s, but nothing where, you know, if it's 30s or 40s, you're not going out anyway. So here's the instructions that we're getting from Corbin. So we're gonna follow the first step, which is basically disassembly, and we'll take it from there. Okay, guys, let's go to get the tools and get this working. Okay, all right, so we have step number 1, take off this screw and that screw. So let's get at it right now. So let's take off the 2 screws that we need to remove, and it's a T25. So it's a Star 25, or Torx, I'm sorry, Torx 25 screw head, which should let you remove this here, which take off these two screws. Screw number one. There's screw number one. And then screw number two, which is right about there. Get that done there. So you get a nice little action here for you guys. Screw number two is coming off. Nice and easy. When you put them back on, don't over torque them, guys, because it's not like this thing's gonna fly off like the screws that I found missing on the bike a couple of days ago. Put the screws somewhere where we can find them again. Have no issues whatsoever. All right, so let's take this top part off with simple, using my GoPro mount, which I shouldn't, but I'm grabbing it here. One-handed camera work here right now, so let's put it here in a nice spot where we're not gonna mess it up. All right, next section we're gonna take off is this section right here that goes between our thighs, which is this bad boy here. But in order to get to that section, we have to kind of open up the seating here. So lift up your seat, boys and girls. I haven't taken off my seat bag. And obviously I did a little hack on my thing here where it opens a little bit more than usual because I have my DVR down here. That's the brain for my camera system that goes on the bike. But you take off this second screw here, which is right there. I'm taking this thing off so many times. All right, so here's the second screw coming off. And I'll fast forward some of these boring parts, so just in case you guys. All right, so now we have this section, which comes off really easy. Put it down here next to the gas tank. All right, so let's give this a whirl here real quick. See how this one goes. So according to this, should be a nice exact fit. Finish on this isn't the best in the world. I'm used to seeing that finish over there versus this finish. Looks good, but should fit in there perfectly. You have two screws that should line up with the holes that are in here, which are right there. See? Yeah, screw one right there. So let's go get one screw. And let's screw this bad boy back in there. Alright, so we got both screws that are holding this front part of the seat on. As you can tell, it's gray. A little lighter than what I wanted it to be, but let's see how this goes. And let's see the final look, how it lays out. So here we go. Hopefully the tank will push that down and that'll secure that front piece up. So let's get the tank again. Get it lined up. That lined up. This lined up. Man, gaps are pretty gnarly here. We'll see. Let's get some. All right, so we got that first piece on. It's looking different. Not used to seeing a gray looking seat, but let's see how that goes. A couple of things to note, even though I put this on tight, there are some gappings that just kind of not liking. Weird gaps, but we'll see if they adjust once everything goes together. It kind of pushes everything up and goes into its place. But this part's going to be the tough one. So I'm going to take the camera down now. Disassemble, come back once it's just disassembled, then ready to mount up on the other one because I don't have my tripod or my body mount, so I can kind of show you guys what's going on. So I'll stop it now and then we'll continue once it's done. Okay, back at you guys. So after following the instructions carefully detailed here on the documentation, we've installed the front piece of the seat. We installed the back piece of the seat. Now you guys may ask, well, why does yours open up so much and ours doesn't? Well, I had to undo some screws and take some latches off because I have these mounts here which have been designed, or these brackets, these square brackets are designed so to hold my bike and golf club carrier. So as you guys have seen on the sites, on my Instagram and on the Facebook page and on the Facebook group, I worked with a company called 2x2 Cycles, and we designed a bicycle carrier so I can carry my bikes, which I have a bunch of them. There's one back there, there's a couple there. When I go bike riding, either road biking or dirt biking or mountain biking or e-biking, whatever it is, and I can take them on the bike. So in order to do that, I had to kind of secure this because now this tray is secured here. It doesn't go up or down anymore. So with that being said, I did not do the complete setup, but at the end of the day, this latch goes into this and you pretty much have the same functionality as you do on a stock sheet where it goes up and down and the tray goes up and down with it. But in my case, I am not using that and it closes pretty well. So at the beginning of the video, I complained a little bit about some gaps, but it looks like after everything's said and done, the seat in its proper position gets rid of pretty much a good portion of the gaps. It is night, so we'll detail it out tomorrow, but right now we're gonna clean her up and see how she does tomorrow. We're gonna go for a nice long ride with the guys at Livewire. So we'll see. We'll meet up some guys and ride up tomorrow. So what do you guys think? Gray, no good? Yes, good? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm gonna go for comfort, not look, and I wanted something different. So thought the gray was gonna be a little bit darker, but hey, let's go see. I'm gonna go sit on it for a little while, go around here around the block and see what she says. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. All these, the seat and other products from Corbin, you can go to Corbin's website. I'll put all the information. There's a nice find tool that lets you pre-configure your seat, materials, colors, and all that stuff before you even get it on your bike. Highly recommend their seats. Bet you anything that it was based off, this design was based off my design, my bike originally, because I had it at the factory back in October, was it? When was this? So yeah, back a couple of years ago, no, like early 2020, they had the seat, the bike, this bike that had my Livewire there, and they took all their measurements, but Corbin got shut down because of the COVID pandemic that started, and everybody got sent home and nobody was there. So the bike sat there for a few months. Eventually I got my bike back, but they never got around to making the seat. Now we got the seat for the bike, so we'll see how this goes. All right, bye. Okay, so we took off the stock seat, or not the stock seat, I'm sorry, the low profile, highly stitched seat that Harley Davidson or Livewire now makes for the Livewire. There it is. Took off the cowl now, because this piece, the carbon fiber tail section, will no longer fit the new seat. And I gotta mount up my my seat bag, but this is the finished product. So here we have my 2020-2021 Livewire, and it is now sporting a Corbin seat. Just took it out for a little spin around the block here, and initial thoughts is it's very comfortable, feels real good on the tush, but I can really tell you how it's going to work out once I take it over, 100, 200, 300, 400 mile ride, which hopefully will be in the next couple of weeks. We're going to set up a San Francisco run from LA, so that's good 500 miles. So that'll put the seat to its a good pace, but it seems to be fine. One thing I do note, and for a lot of you guys, the seat does raise you up. So if your sitting position is normally flat-footed on the bike, because your inseam is high enough for you to lay your feet flat down, you might notice that there is a little bit more of a height difference now. I would say probably close to an inch, inch and a half. So in my case, and I am measuring myself right now, I have roughly, with regular everyday shoes, and if I measure my inseam here, we're looking about roughly, I'm at around 31 and a half inches from the floor to the bottom of my gonad. So 31 inches, and I used to sit pretty much flat. I still sit flat on the bike. I do feel a height difference. Can't say that's good or bad. It just feels a little different. But other than that, everything else looks okay. The gaps, the seat itself laid down perfectly, clipped on properly. This pushes down this, which closed a lot of the gaps that I saw earlier on. I would have probably wanted to see more detail here, maybe some additional stitching to kind of follow these lines here, just to kind of give it more of a, you know, cosmetic look. But other than that, the seat looks good. I'm gonna try to mount up. I know my seat bag is gonna fit here perfectly, and the carbon fiber tail section, which I will not use for now. I guess I'll keep it, but obviously no longer fits. Well, it fits, but doesn't fit right. It doesn't look right at all. Look at that. So lost that section here, which is a nice piece, but it played its part, you know, during its time. So with that being said here, guys, here it is. Finished product. Livewire with a Corbin seat, and it looks really cool. You know, we'll see tomorrow how she does on the road. We're gonna take her for a nice little 180, 200 mile day, so we'll see how she goes. All right, bye.